Couch Co-op. Couch Co-op. Couch Co-op.
Hello, Couch Co-opers, Couch Potatoes, and Couch Codependents. This is the Couch Co-op Show, and I'm Ian, joined by Dave and Aaron.
Good evening.
Hey, everybody.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Oh, good.
Good. Beer
No,
number
now I've had
2, and I'm
something to
feeling
eat.
good.
Well, everybody, please do me a favor and find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Couch Co-op Shows, all one word.
No hyphen.
No hyphen.
That's right. Now let's get to the show. We haven't done this in a fucking long-ass time.
It's been a while,
Right.
hasn't it?
It's been a hot minute. And this is the show where we, this is the show where we don't drink beers. Well, we do drink beers, but we don't talk about
Oh, I was gonna say that's debatable.
them. We drink beers. We just talk about video games.
Right.
Before we get to anything here, I want to talk about a video game that released last week, and I think everyone got it free this month on PlayStation Plus. But it's a new version of a game. It is called Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's brand new. It just launched. It just launched on the PS4 and PS5, and I think everything actually. But it's actually a remake, a remaster of a older PS3 game, Virtua Fighter 5. And then Virtua Fighter 5 had another remake on PS3 called Virtua Fighter 5 Showdown. So thus the PS4 PS5 version is Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown. It's free for you guys because you guys have Plus. Definitely should download
Yep.
it.
That's right.
It's
I have downloaded it. I haven't played it yet.
it's
I need to
I mean
download
it's like great, it's Virtua Fighter 5. It's great. It's solid, great mechanics, great combat. I think what stands out about Ultimate Showdown that stands it apart from the other ones is it is very focused for the most part on online competitive gameplay. So, getting in matches online, fighting other people. Something that's really cool that I think is really awesome, in the main menu where you choose what mode you're going to play, it'll play a match of actual people.
That's
It's
dope.
not like a demo. It's like you're watching this big dick 625 and I'm smoking a fat joint 420. Like it's these two people fighting, and it's just like it's just like I don't know if that's live, but I feel like it's it's actual people. It's not just
That's
a
very cool.
demo that's just like player 1 fighting player 2. It's kind of cool. So, but it has an arcade mode you can play through super easy, normal. You can breeze through it in like 10-15 minutes.
Nice.
There's local co-op, obviously. So obviously, if we were doing game night, we could play together. But I think where the meat and
Nice.
potatoes of this game, it's the online competitive, and there's going to be like tournaments they're going to start doing too. It's not live yet, but there's obviously like a tournament mode. That's so I think it's being geared towards that whole competitive online competitive thing. But it's
Yeah, they're trying to get a league going.
yeah, for sure. And maybe it'll
smart.
be in Evo this year. I don't know if they've announced the games for the Evo, the fighting game tournament thing, but it'd be cool to see Virtua Fighter 5 because it's such a solid game. I mean, I've played Virtua Fighter 5 since PS2, big fan, and I'm still really good, actually.
Isn't it kind of funny how they haven't like incremented it? It's not like
Right.
they made how many versions of it, and it's not like up to Virtua Fighter 10 or something.
Right.
Kind of like Mortal Kombat. But
Well, no, Mortal
Street
Kombat's
Fighter's
no.
the same as well.
Mortal Kombat is definitely
They took a
moved.
hiatus. I feel like.
Mortal Kombat is a different beast.
Yeah. But Street Fighter
Yeah.
does the same as well. They've
They got
They-
stuck on 5, didn't they?
Yeah, they don't like increment it every game. It's so they'll do like 3 or 4 games of each number.
Right.
Right.
For sure. I think the interesting thing about Virtual Fighter, like I said, is like it's like the one like it's my second favorite fighting game, but it's the fighting game I'm the best at. Like I am undefeated online right now, and that's not
Nice.
ranked. I'm undefeated 2-0, but in private room match, I created a room to get a trophy, and you create a room and you can have like 4 to 8 people populate
What's your gamer tag? That sounds like a challenge to get your ass whipped.
just Milkman Pictures. Hey, you guys can find me. But no, I don't know how much more I'm gonna play it because it is. Here's the other thing. It is just the old game, a little cleaner.
Right.
I would wish
Yeah.
like I would like to see a Virtual Fighter 6. I mean, PS3, that's a long time ago. Xbox 360, that's a long fucking
Right.
time ago. I mean, we
Oh
could do
God, yeah.
we
Oh,
could
shit.
do with a new iteration of the game, but no,
Yeah,
I
that's
did.
a whole generation, isn't it?
But
'Cause-
in private room matches, I did God mode, guys. I did the room
Nice.
and did the room again.
nice.
Now, here's the thing. When you rank up in actual competitive play, then it it sticks you with people that are your same.
But it does have a pretty good kind of like
Yeah.
level matchmaking system. You don't get
I mean,
against people who are way above your level or way below your level.
as long as I'm kicking
I
people's
hate when they
ass,
do that in
I
game.
feel like I'm doing a good job.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I wanted to talk about that. That's the new game we're talking about here today, so I can like say, hey, this is the Virtual Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown episode. But
Yeah.
really, what this episode is going to be about is fucking catch up and the video games that we have played
Yeah.
since we talked. I mean, this is a massive.
Before we get onto that though, it's been a good month or two of PlayStation Plus games. I mean, you got Star Wars Squadrons as well this month, and that only came out
Yeah.
just before November, wasn't it, or October last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the year before, and I mean, the
And
year.
I bought it on disc, and I downloaded it from PS Plus, and I still haven't played it.
I had Game Pass for a hot minute, and it was on Game Pass, and I started to play it, but I don't know, I lost interest. I think I was drunk or something. I was just like, I don't want to deal with all of this. And then Game Pass, Game Pass is a waste. It's really cool, but it's also a waste. Like when you are given a million games to play, and you just I don't know, I don't know. It's awesome, but not. It's like PlayStation Now is awesome, but I play PlayStation Now a bit more. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. What we're talking about is games we've been playing, and like plus like Dave was talking about. We got like Wreckfest the month
Yeah.
before that, and a whole bunch
Well,
of shit.
actually, I was hitting that pretty hard. I actually platinumed it, I think, the day it came out on PS Plus, because
Nice.
you recommended it to me probably 6 months ago, and I bought it earlier this year, and I got stuck on that game. That was a very good game. It was fun platinum as well. The hardest part of the platinum was you had to win 20 online matches, and it is a little toxic online at times.
Right,
There's a lot of like griefing, and
for sure.
which is funny because it's Wreckfest. It's a game where you run into each other as hard as possible and try and knock people out. But then you always get that one guy, and it's a knockout, last man standing. And instead of trying to kill the other person, instead of trying to come for you and get a good hit on you, they run away, and you end up like chasing them for 5 minutes. And it's just like, rah! And then I had one server where there were 2 people who were obviously working together. One of them would like crash into someone, and then the second one would just nail them as well. And you could tell they were working together because they'd be like this, and then he'd like come round the second guy, And it was just like,
Fucking trophy hunters, man.
Yeah, I did get the trophy though for 20 online victories.
That's awesome.
A lot
But
of
plus,
fun, actually.
Plus has been really like legit lately. They've been
Yeah, I mean, there's been some solid games that
Final Fantasy 14 or 15? No,
14
the remake.
seven-
The remake.
Yes, Final
The
Fantasy
7.
VII remake. I played a bit of that, and I kind of lost it. I kind of lost interest in it. I mean, probably I got out of the first level that was the demo level, and I got a little bit further than that. I probably put about 5 or 6 hours into it, and it was just I don't know. I couldn't get back into it.
Aaron,
Which
did
is
you play it? I
strange.
mean, you're a big fan of that shit.
I've been playing it. Yeah, I think I've just barely got back into Sector 7. I know I just met. I ventured around a lot with Amaranth, the flower girl, but
Yeah,
I got back to the town, and I really enjoy it. I just haven't played as much lately, honestly.
you know,
Not that not that I haven't lost interest or anything. It's just
Busy.
been
Life.
busy. Yep.
You know, and I've been dealing with massive video game burnout that we talked about like a few episodes back. So like,
Yeah.
it's weird. I haven't been playing a lot of video games, and then recently I just started playing stuff again. So I actually have a bunch of stuff I can
Yeah.
talk about. But let's start with Dave. Dave, what else have you been playing?
But really, all I've played so far, like a lot this year, is a Platinum Wreckfest because I really, really enjoyed that. It
Hey.
reminded me of like Destruction Derby, and all the things I liked about that game. And then the other game I've been playing is Just Cause 4 because that was given away free a while back. And
Dave, I think you need to check the beat list because I think you beat another game in between there.
did I?
Battlefield
I-
5.
Oh yeah, Battlefield 5. That was really forgettable.
That was so forgettable.
I didn't. That game was.
That's so forgettable.
was
Sometimes I
like,
remind you about it.
It should have been. Wasn't that interested in the characters, and the battles weren't that epic or memorable when I think back to it. So, which is kind of a shame. But then that game's always been about the multiplayer, so maybe I'm just missing stuff. But you know, it was nothing wrong with it. There was just the missions were kind of short, and they didn't really tie together either, which kind of, I think there's five single player missions, and they take like an hour and a half, or so, hour to 2 hours to do, depending on what difficulty level and all the rest of it. But I know I kind of get what they were trying to do was like show the futility of war and like all the different sides, but I did think it was an interesting choice though to play as a Nazi for the last.
Oh really?
Yeah, you play as one of the last Tiger tanks still surviving in Berlin as the Allies make the final push, and so you're destroying Allies left, right, and center, and I thought that was an interesting like thematic choice at least, and that honestly that was probably the most memorable level just because of like you weren't playing the good guys, you weren't playing. The rest of the other stories, it was like, yeah.
Did you you try any of the multiplayer, or you delete it after you beat the story
It
mode?
might still be on my system. I don't know because I upgraded the hard drive in mine a while back to like 2 TB, so I don't always delete stuff off the system anymore because I actually have some room to keep games on it.
Right.
A very very easy thing to do. There's a YouTube video on how to do it if anyone's out there, and I want to say it would cost like $40 for the hard drive, and you just click the top off the PlayStation, pull the hard drive out, and then make sure you've backed up all your saves to the cloud, and anything you want to save up to the cloud, and then you can kind of download it again. It takes about it was one of those things I was expecting it to take me all day, and it took me about 15 minutes. Like,
we did it for Aaron's PS3 when it died way back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it makes me hope that it'll be that simple for the PlayStation 5, because
PlayStation 5 is different because you only can get a NVM.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is like when they finally allow you to upgrade that thing, then.
Well, no, you just add it. You add one. It has an addition slot. You don't replace the old one. You add another one.
Oh, that's nice. So yeah, you keep your 800 gigabyte or whatever it is, and you can add like. I bet those things are spendy, but
they are.
Yes. In 2 or 3 years' time, they probably won't be.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I think it's a smart play. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but but yeah. So Battlefield 5, that was free last. That was free the month before, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, yes, that was
With
the
April?
PlayStation
PS. That was
Plus.
the Wreckfest was the PS5 free game.
Yes.
Battlefield 5 was the PS4 free game. I don't remember. Forget what the other one was, but they've been like cracking off games, man. A lot of
Did you play Wreckfest on your PlayStation 5? Was it?
yes.
Was it? Did it look better and run better?
Well, okay. Here's the thing. I played the PS4 version on my PS5, and it was fun. It ran great. And then when I installed the PS5 version, it does look better, but then it's also got the better feedback controls. It's like you can feel it pushing back on you. It's super cool. Jared, everything okay, buddy?
Yeah, I think so. We just have to keep an eye on my daughter. That's all.
That makes sense.
Like concussion type shit?
Maybe. But we can talk about that off.
Anyway,
podcast
Yeah.
we are talking
Yeah.
about video games, and Jared has just joined us, everybody. So it's now Jared, Dave, and Aaron, and we are in the
Hey.
we are in the what you've been playing segment, and Dave's talking about we're talking a little bit about Wreckfest, but yeah, I think the PS5 version once you get a PS5, Dave, the PS5 version is worth kind of playing through again. It's just kind of fun, and what it does is you know the dual sense controller stuff is kind of fun.
Yeah, I'm
For
kind
sure.
of wondering. Like, I'm kind of thinking it might be next year before I get a PlayStation 5 at the rate it's going.
Same.
'Cause,
And the load
know-
times are like I don't know what the load times are on the PS4, but the load
Oh, they're
times are like
horrible.
non-existent.
yeah, that was
Not
one of
the
the things
greatest.
about that game. The load times on that game were pretty brutal on the PlayStation 4 on disc. So, but yeah, I mean, I highly recommend Wreckfest if anyone out there hasn't played it. If you like Demolition Derby and those kind of games, it's a fun racing game with it's got a good damage engine. It's quite satisfying, and it's just an all-around solid game. And then the other game I played is you turned me back on to Just Cause 4, and so I've been playing that.
Just cause.
It's just, I mean, it's not. There's nothing about that game that's like groundbreaking or anything, but
It's the only
like-
one I've beaten. I've played 2 and 3 quite a bit, but they just got burnout because they are so massive. And I think finally in 4 they decided to say, "Hey, let's not make it such a fucking ordeal."
Well, that's funny you say that because I was thinking it is kind of massive, but I do enjoy using my wingsuit to like fly around the place. I quite like the travel on it. I'm sure you can fast travel and you can call helicopters and stuff, but
Mhm.
I usually just put my wingsuit on and go from point A to point B. I find that quite fun and satisfying. So
I feel like 3 was way more massive. It was just I feel like it was such an ordeal to get
well,
through.
that's initially why I stopped playing Just Cause 4. Was I got I did a couple of regions and then I looked at the map and I'm like, oh, this map's humongous and I'm not sure I really want to, do it.
I'm gonna
But-
piggyback off Dave because I've also played this game and I beat it. I guess I was pretty let down by the weather stuff. I thought it was gonna be more a part of the game, like the sandbox of the game, but it seemed like it was only really ever a part of the game in story missions. And I was
Yeah.
under the impression that it was gonna be this thing that happened in the open world and just comes out of nowhere, and like in Skyrim when the dragons attack, it would be like, oh, a fucking
like
storm.
dynamic weather, so like a tornado would just pop down when you're in the middle of something.
That was not the
there's
case.
None of that, because when the tornado's there, it is really cool. Like
Yeah.
you get sucked in, and like if you're driving the car around, there's like bits of bridge falling on you and all the rest of it.
So
it's
that's-
kind of cool.
That's why I wanted to play the game, but it's not like that, and so I was pretty let down. And I feel like it's a pretty easy beat. It's like a 16-hour game. You can get through it. It's pretty, you just
Yeah,
you just kill people.
There's essentially three main storylines, and you can rescue as many of the regions as you feel fit. But I kind of enjoy doing the region missions. you either have to complete certain, like they have like stripe missions in the region where you gotta hack into something or steal something or destroy something, and it's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's it's like B tier Ubisoft. They do a lot of the open
Yeah.
world stuff, and it's like there's glitches and it does some weird, stupid shit. But the characters are kind of funny and endearing in a way, and
Yeah, I love that everything that you can destroy for the chaos meter has the red stripe on it. I like that, like, and I like the black and yellow lines on the stuff that you've got to remove and that. And I just like that. And what's really satisfying to me though is those big fuel tanker spheres when you blow those up, and then the other one is like the gas tank that's like on the ground on its side, and you shoot it, and then it like fires off like a rocket and
it's
hits something and blows up. It's just really satisfying.
it's funny about the whole red tankers because you're supposed to, like, in the old games, the red stuff you destroy. Um, it's weird in this game that you don't have to just, like, that's not the mission anymore. Like in the
No,
previous games, you were always had to go in and destroy all the red shit to get your
yeah,
fucking.
you
They
take
totally
over the base, you
abandoned all
destroy
of
it. Yeah,
that. Like you don't have to destroy any of that unless you want to take out. The only thing that really bugged me about the games is it's just like spawn bad guys. You clear out a nest
yes,
of guys in a like a sniper tower. You clear out the guys, they'll just magically spawn right there. And it's just like,
yeah.
what? This is so fucking stupid. But for the most part, it's it's a B tier game that's fun to play and destroy stuff. It's 16 hours of your life. If you want to waste 16 hours beating the game, there you go.
Yeah, there's a lot worse games that I mean, it's an open world game that's not too big, not too small. There's kind of plenty of stuff to do in it, and it's a good bit of fun, but it's not a 40-hour open world game or
Thank
50
God.
hour open world game.
I think for
Yeah, I
platinums you
think
have
that
to. I
without,
think platinum's like 40 or 50 hours.
gosh, I don't know even know. I might even be more than that because I was looking at the list of trophies and I'm like, nah. I'm
Is that
like, no.
is that it, Dave?
Yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing. It's been a pretty quiet like start of the year for games. I'm still trying to lay my hands on the PlayStation 5, to be quite honest.
Well,
But
we saw you laid
Yeah.
your hands on an Atari 2600.
yeah, I did. I played. My nephew was over at the weekend, and so he was bugging me to play the Nintendo NES. I got one of those blinking light for the win uh, connectors for it, so you push them in instead of the like floppy up and down one that goes bad after a while. But unfortunately, one of the pins broke on it, so I sent it back to the company and they're sending me a replacement. But I do, even with the broken pin, I highly recommend them because I have a box of about 30 games, and on the regular, I tried replacing the Connect. I have the original Nintendo collector. Tried cleaning that, and then I replaced it with a Chinese knockoff, and I could maybe get like 20 of the games to work consistently. With this blinking light for the win, there's one game that doesn't work, and I think it's actually Legend of Zelda, but I think it's because the battery on it has leaked or something. So it's obviously corrupt, but that really helped. And so
Yeah.
I pulled out the Atari 2600, which you informed me doesn't have enough buttons.
It doesn't.
It's got like two switches for those two extra buttons on the back, for like easy, hard.
User friendliness like mine. It's
Yeah.
it's funny when you think about it. Like they were making multiple consoles back then, yet people have such issue with multiple consoles today.
Oh, I know.
Isn't that weird?
But
Like,
so
Oh,
I
go
dug
ahead,
out.
Jared.
company
Jared.
had every company had like their branded Atari. So like there's a million editions.
Well,
of the
yeah,
same
I
one.
think Dave's and ours are both the Sears version, technically.
Yes, the Telly games or whatever they called it. Yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah, I dug that out. Pac-Man still stinks. Space Invaders looks like crap. Asteroids is as fun as it has ever been, and I really like that game. But my nephew, he's 6 years old, and
Loved
he
E.T.
no, he actually really liked Frogger and Freeway,
Oh.
which are both essentially the same game. Like Freeway's just a 10 line highway instead of having the logs at the top. You just got more more roads to avoid.
I
But he's
was
like, why
Oh.
can't I go left and right? Because you can only go up and down on that one. So, and then I dug out the Game Gear as well, which surprisingly still worked. And I played around the Mortal Kombat, and I'd forgotten how big they made the sprites on that on the Game Gear, and how much blood. I mean, it's not the greatest animated version of it, but it's actually pretty good for what it is. Well, I should say it's Mortal Kombat 2. And then
Yeah.
Streets of Rage 2 as well on that, which is one of... I just remember loving Streets of Rage on the Genesis, and the Game Gear version is actually a pretty good interpretation of it as well.
it's
So-
it's man, those games. I don't know. It's funny. I collect all that shit, but I hate playing those fucking games.
Yeah, it's amazing that you've ended up with this like pretty impressive retro collection, but you're not really a retro guy.
No.
And I must admit that's why I like that Retro Pie, because
Oh, that's
if
brilliant.
I want to play a game, it's right there, and you just switch it on. You have your 5-10 minutes, or if it's
No,
longer,
man.
great.
You play those arcade games and you just pop the quarters, and then like in
Yes.
45 minutes you beat a game. It's so brilliant because those games are really short. The only reason you stopped playing them is because they kick your ass, and you ran
Yeah,
out of
I mean,
money.
Like I'd forgotten how hard the Simpsons game was. I mean,
Mhm.
I played the Simpsons arcade game, and it was like, holy crap! I must have put like the equivalent of $20-$30 in it, which back in the day would have been like a ridiculous amount of money.
That's a lot of quarters.
Right.
Yeah, it's like no wonder I never beat this game on the arcade, because even on the easiest set, because I think they could do that on those old arcade games. There's a jumper on the board that they could make it like
Yeah.
harder, so you got you took more damage when you got hit or that kind of stuff.
What you're saying is you want your Raspberry Pi back, and I have to buy my own.
Nah, you can keep it for a bit longer. Would you buy one though after having one for a while?
I think so. I think it's pretty cool. There's like 20,000 games on there.
Yeah, it's a pretty good novelty, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
like, and they run really well. For me on that machine, it's not so much the SNES or the Nintendo or the
It's the arcade
Sega.
stuff.
It's the arcade stuff, yeah,
Yeah.
that's where it's at for me, because
Yeah.
those games are like games I've just, I have fond memories of playing, maybe back in the late 80s, early 90s.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
I wish I still had a PS1, and then I could take all the guts out and put the Raspberry Pi inside of it. That'd be dope. Anyway,
I have a PS Mini. That
yeah,
would
but-
be a great. That could be
it
a
would
great
be,
little case.
but then you'd have to kill that thing. Anyway,
I only paid $10 for it. Don't worry.
Aaron, have you played video games, my friend, my brother?
I've played a couple. I mean, the main one I've really been playing is Super Smash Brothers. Feel like I'm very close to beating that game because there's a story mode. I did not know that actually. It's like a Spirit Board thing, and I've already beaten the two major bosses. I need to get to the third one. It's basically just gauntlet style in a sense, but it's pretty fun to play. And obviously, I've been playing the remake of Final Fantasy VII, just kind of slowed down a little bit because of life and stuff. But I feel like I've gotten pretty good distance of that
Yeah.
as is. But
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
right, I'll beat that game someday. I just need to really
Well, that's
hunker
only
down.
part one as well. That was the other bit that got me.
Yeah.
It's like they've split it up into a couple.
Right, yeah, because I was reading about that. And I'm like, really? You guys are gonna make? Because it sounded like the one disc, the one game was the whole thing, but obviously not because
Nope.
Gotta make money. They're making an epic.
I
They're
know.
making an epic.
They've also
I know
stretched it
that-
out a lot. I think my brother beat that, and he said it was a lot longer than the whole original game.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
I watched my friend and some of you guys have watched it. Yusef played it on stream, and
Mhm.
but they really deep dive into it and expand areas of the game, so it becomes almost a different game, really.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
hope to play
no.
it at some point. I'm just not the biggest Final Fantasy guy, but I kind of really want to play it. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I'll play it sometime this year.
Sometime.
It's fun for what it's worth. I mean, it was free in March, at least the part 1 anyway. But
I liked the demo. The demo was really. I enjoyed that. So.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
I
demo
mean-
was fun.
I mean, obviously it's free. It's worth its money, which is free, but it's definitely something worth checking out if no one has checked it out yet. That listens to the show. It's definitely
like-
worth it.
PlayStation PlayStation Plus this year is giving away most of the games that I wanted to play from last year.
They've done a
Right,
really good job.
like- Yeah,
Right,
It's like,
I
why did I
agree.
bother buying some of the games I bought last year? I could have just waited. You know?
That's the thing too.
Right.
Nowadays, you got to really be careful. Like you got to be like, oh, like I had a feeling Star Wars Squadrons was gonna
Yeah.
be one of those games, and so I just kept holding off on it. And
Yeah.
hey,
Well, it was only $40 when it came out, and then it pretty quickly went down to 25 or 20.
Yeah,
So-
I bought it for next to
No,
nothing.
it's free.
here's the problem. I'm probably not gonna fucking play.
Well, ever since I set
Maybe.
my computer rig and all that stuff out in the garage, I've been playing more VR. So I think I'll probably pop that one in here pretty soon.
Oh, in
Speaking of-
out in on your PlayStation, you mean, or out
Yeah,
here?
my PS4 out in
Oh,
the garage.
I got you.
I have my VR rig set up out here.
Speaking of which, they're gonna make a Sniper Elite for PSVR,
Yeah.
or they're making it.
Why wouldn't they? I feel
No,
like
they
gonna
that's
be-
the
they
time
announced
idea.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, that thing's. I hope they use the gun controller as well. You know, the from
That'd
Farpoint.
be even better.
That would be freaking neat.
Okay,
Yeah.
Jared, you're
Yeah.
up, big guy. All the
Yeah.
Your turn,
games
buddy.
you've been
it's-
playing.
Well,
You've been
I've been dabbling in a little bit. Yeah.
Whoa, 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 whoa! We haven't done an episode since the Returnal preview. Jared is in the good position to actually give Jared's review of the game. Basically, all you have to do is like listen to the preview and then listen to Jared gloat about just glow about the game right now.
Yeah.
Finally got his platinum, from what I understand.
Yeah, I did get the platinum yesterday, and it felt very good.
How many hours?
I didn't check the final ticker, but I mean, I got the third ending, or the very final ending of the game in 20 some hours, like 30, almost 30 hours. And
Dang,
I
not
think
bad.
at that point I died like 40 times or something like that. I did pretty good in the game. My
not too bad.
deaths are up a lot more now because of the grinding for the ciphers and stuff like that to get the platinum trophy. Mostly in biome 2, which has the least amount of completion when it comes to the trophy percentage list, because there's like a super rare room, which yesterday I found 3 times. The first 2 times I died on them, because you end up, instead of like plowing through and shooting everything, you end up just kind of speed running through. You get out of the first zone in a minute or two, and then you just kind of run through everything on the second biome and just kind of warp to the end, and you find it eventually. And that's a lot of fun, just seeing what you can do, because some of the enemies really chase you, so you're always kind of scared, and you see trails of stuff flowing right next to you, and you're like, he's right there. So yeah, I mean, the game has such a good vibe to it, and it's so fun to play. Like, as you get more confident, you just really get in these enemies' faces, and you know which ones that you can stun with your sword, and you just really get up in their face and just destroy them with your melee attacks. You pick weapons you like. As you're playing through the higher levels, you pick any weapon that you can upgrade some of the stats on, because there's like skills that you can unlock after a certain amount of kills and stuff like that. So on those later biomes, you're just kind of experimenting with weapons, maybe even finding weapons that you appreciate more than you did, because you end up using them to upgrade just those numbers and get that those skills. So I mean, there's a lot of give and take in the game, because it will really test your
Punish.
metal. It will test your metal, but I don't know, like
It's fun. It's fun.
It's really fun, but once you find a groove, and the right weapon that you really like, which varies between biome because the weapon you love for one may not work well for the next one because some are more wide open or have aerial enemies and stuff like that. So, like aerial enemies that bombard you with a ton of stuff, it's nice to have one to shoot them with that will keep staggering them where they won't shoot at you for a while because they keep getting, hit with ongoing damage and stuff like that, or auto target stuff. I mean, there's a lot of really cool weapons in the game. Some of them I didn't like kind of they have like a sniper rifle type one, which isn't fast enough for that type of gameplay. Maybe some people can make use out of it. There's a shotgun one, which I don't know. I did most of my testing of that when there was a lot of aerial enemies and a lot of distance fighting. So obviously, I didn't get much use out of that. But there's still several weapons that work for most situations, and the story. I don't know. Even in the Discord, I joined Housemarque's Discord so I can look at some of the story secrets and stuff like that. And there's a lot of people with a lot of different opinions of what's going on in the story and what things mean. So that's pretty cool to do. You can actually join. Housemarque has a Discord, and you can join. They have like an auto ad thing, so it's pretty fun to join that. There's a lot of hints, and people will post the best videos for like running through and collecting everything. I ended up using one of the YouTube videos to get like the very final cipher,
Right.
and I don't post on Twitter very often, but I did post that triumph, and a lot of people have liked it so far, including Housemarque. So it was kind of fun.
I have a question. As of right now, is that your game of the year?
Yeah, so far.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's amazing. I really hope you stick with it so you can beat at least get to the boss Hyperion.
Right. Okay. I mean,
Hyperion is such a cool boss.
It's funny. I mean, I really like the game, and I spent a decent amount of time with it, but I don't know. It's just one of those things that I like burn out. But you're right. I should really give it a better try to like move on. I mean, I was so happy when I beat that first boss because I never thought I would beat the first boss. So beating the first boss was just like this magical moment. So.
Yeah, at this point, I've beat each boss several times.
Right.
And, I've been
What's
having
the
a lot of
hardest?
fun
What
with
is,
that.
in your opinion, what's the hardest boss in the game?
Geez. I would say, man, I don't know. They're all about the same difficulty. The second one I beat on the first try. The third one I beat on the second try. The first one I beat on the second try. Fourth and fifth I beat on the first try.
See,
I died
Jared's
on
on
the
another
sixth
level.
one.
Jared's on another level.
So, like,
Mhm.
I mean, I've had a lot of fun with them. Yeah, I mean, they're all about the same, really,
Dude.
when it comes to it.
Only if your run
Some of-
only if your run is luck. Cause like sometimes your run is complete shit and you get nothing but garbage, and then you're just like, oh, I'm fucked. I don't know. I feel like
Yeah. I mean, like if you're going the route where you're fighting all the way through biome 1 just so you can get your health upgrades and stuff like that, that can be challenging and kind of annoying. So really, you just kind of need to run to the biome that you want to work on, because right at the beginning of each biome is an upgrade for your weapon. So the next weapon you get is going to be powered up to that level of that map. So you're kind of wasting, like, every time you kill an enemy, it gets your rank for the weapons up. And as soon as you make it to the next biome, that's just null and void. So you're just wasting your time there. So I wouldn't worry about doing the first biome. Just immediately transport to the second one and work on that. And
I have another
grind it.
question. So you're probably gonna put this down for a little while and play some other games, but you have any interest in picking it back up and trying to speed run the game? Like start a new game and see how fast you can get through it?
Yeah, I've thought of it. Maybe I should go play your copy. Here, Ian, watch this game. I don't know. I feel that I might be able to beat it in just a couple hours.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That's cool.
Yeah, but I don't know how much of that is because of the skills I have unlocked on some of the weapons, which takes a little bit of time,
Right.
or if it's some of the items I got because I went through the game. But I don't know. I don't think that has much to do with it. It really is just understanding patterns
Right.
and enemies and weakness and that kind of stuff. So it's just the repetition is important.
Well, let's not
Like
bore these.
any
Let's
any
not bore
rogue
these guys
game.
anymore with this game that we've talked about. We talked about it for like 2 hours on the other episode.
Well, I know neither of them are gonna play it, so I bought it digitally. If
Yeah.
I knew one of them would try it, I would have bought it via disc. Because so far all my PS5 games have been on disc.
Right.
So Dave, when he finally gets his PS5, he'll have like a whole library of games to play.
Here's the funny thing. I'm the first one who bought it,
I'll get
and I
mine
wasn't.
someday, too.
I bought it digitally just because I wanted to support it because I'm a Housemarque fan. When I bought it and played it, it's like, dude, this is a Jared fucking game.
Yeah. And Dave, I did pre-order my disc of Ratchet and Clank, so that will be on the way after
Nice.
you get your PS5.
I do
Nice.
think
Sometime next year.
Aaron and Dave would like the game.
It looked fun.
I think you guys would
Alright,
enjoy it.
yeah.
I don't know if you would stick with it as much as Jared did, but maybe.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to check my hours and just post it in Discord because I didn't check that. Actually, there's still a reason to go back and beat the final boss because there's like a very final cipher that you can read after you get all of the ciphers. So I want to check that out.
All right, what else you been playing, buddy? Just list them
Well,
off.
today I just started the Obra Dinn
Oh, okay.
game.
Game Boy
the one
game?
That looks like it looks like you're playing it on. You can select the different monitors you're playing on. Like you can play on like a Intel screen, pretty much, like an old Commodore style screen. I selected the green one that's Intel, like an old Intel computer.
That's funny.
So it's
Oh,
pretty
the
cool so
IBM,
far. It's
yeah.
really interesting. So I am making sure that I'm playing that with headphones on my Switch. I bought that on Switch for cheap a long time ago, and I'm finally decided to jump in, and it's really interesting.
That like got like Game of the Year nominations.
Yeah,
game,
so far
so-
I'm really enjoying it, but I can tell that it's going to stump the hell out of me for a long time. So I just need to only play it when I can focus because it does take a lot of that.
Okay.
So I plan on playing more of that. I literally just started it today, played it for about a half hour, and I'm already in it. So I
Alright.
really want that. Let's see. I guess I did Cave Story Plus. So that game was fun. That's a classic retro style game that's been remade before, and it's just a 2D, action platformer kind of a game with a story. And I enjoyed it. It was fine. Maybe if I played it back when it came out, I would have enjoyed it more. But I do play a lot of that style of game, and it ranks. I don't know. It's in the middle of the highs and lows, so it's in there. But Cave Story Plus, that's enough about that one.
Paper Beast.
I jumped into VR. I've beat 2 games in VR since I put it out in my garage. I played Paper Beast, which is a really interesting game. I would recommend just witnessing it.
Was that the one? Was that the one that came free the other
Yes.
the other month?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I've got that on my system. I haven't played it yet.
So, like, it's more of like just trying to figure out what to do and who to follow and how to help them. And it's really intriguing. The puzzles are really fun, and the creatures that are created are really good. The water effects are pretty cool when you're standing in the water and stuff like that. There's a lot of really cool details in the game, and I had a lot of fun playing it. I didn't think I'd like it as much as I did, but I beat it in 2 sittings because I just couldn't, stop. It was really good. So
Oh, that's really good. Wearing the head bucket for.
yeah, I mean,
Right.
it's not a long game. It's not a long game.
My
so
head
that's
bucket
all
is
good.
still in storage. I haven't even pulled it out.
Yeah, mine I can see from here. It's in its box.
Mine's
nice and
underneath
safe.
my TV. Yeah, it's just
Dusty.
got some dust bunnies. And then what kind of put me off
Mine
it
is not
the other
different.
day was I pulled it out, and the rubber bit that goes around your eyes. I found a dead spider like right up in the
Oh,
corner.
that's
Oh.
good. That's
And
delicious.
I'm like, that would
Yeah.
have freaked me the crap out of me.
No.
And I dropped out. Luckily, I
Oh,
looked
man.
into it before I put it on.
Funny.
Ew.
And then Rez.
Dead spider.
Yeah, I
Rez.
beat Res Infinite. I played all 6 worlds that are in that. There's a brand new one
At the
I
end.
forgot what it was called. You can actually select it from the start.
Oh,
If you
can
don't
you? I
wanna
thought
play-
you
if
had to.
you-
I thought you couldn't.
No, maybe they patched it in later
they must
after the
have.
game was released.
They
but
must have.
like, if you don't want to play, if you played Res and you don't want to play through the whole thing, which I would recommend playing through the whole thing, it's really good in VR. It's actually really fun, and it's way easy to aim compared to using a controller. Because I tried it without VR, and it's kind of a pain in the ass to aim the reticle around to select all the enemies.
Because this game
sometimes
also
there
has
is
been
just a
this game has
ton of
also been
enemies.
patched to play without VR, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And in VR, you can play it in TV mode, so you
Okay.
can use your controller, but you actually aim with your face.
Okay.
So just be careful because there's a lot of shit going on around you. I was actually in this pivoting chair, so that helped a lot. There's one boss that kind of runs around you in the back, and it took me a few tries to understand that I actually needed to turn around and wail on him.
That's interesting.
So that was kind of obnoxious. Not many games do that kind of thing where you actually have to do stuff behind you, but Res did that to me, so I had to figure that out in that way. Dying on him twice.
Did it make you sick at all? Like, was
No,
it,
no.
how was it compared to Thumper? Because
It's not as fast.
it's
not
not.
as
Yeah,
fast,
it's not as fast and as like.
but in the settings, if you have troubles with motions with settings, they actually have a setting in the settings screen where you can turn off or limit the amount of motion that happens because you're moving your character around, the perspective
Yeah.
change and stuff like that. So you can limit that. Uh, the last one that they made for it specifically for VR, that one is different because you can kind of accelerate and decelerate and go backwards and stuff like that. You kind of have to steer your character around, whereas the original stuff is just more like an on-rails shooter. So that can be fun. It was fine. I think it would have been better without that, but it was really cool, and the graphics were different and more colorful and more detailed. So it's worth at least checking that out if you have experience with Res.
Cool. And is that it, Jared? Because
Think so.
all right.
I probably played more stuff, but go for it.
I gotta. So I already talked. We talked at the top of the show about Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown and how the game is, online combat based, limited story, not really any story at all. Let's move forward into Mortal Kombat 11. The story mode in that game is fucking epic. I mean, if you want a fighting game with story, it is crazy what they have done with this game. It's almost sad that they made a Mortal Kombat movie that is nowhere close to being as good as the video game. Like, if you can't make your movie better than the video game, you shouldn't even make a movie.
Right.
It's really impressive. The game is great. In my opinion, Injustice 2 is NetherRealm's better game, and Mortal Kombat 11 borrows heavily from what Injustice 2 did. So all the environmental stuff, all the gear stuff you can win, like they tested it all in Injustice 2, and then when it was a hit, they put it in Mortal Kombat 11. So like Mortal Kombat 11 is obviously the game that gets more people to buy, but Injustice 2 I think is the better game. But I really like Mortal Kombat 11. It's a lot of fun. I beat it. I beat the DLC expansion. I don't really get the Terminator and Rambo shit, RoboCop, but I do think Spawn is fucking perfect in the Mortal Kombat universe. But RoboCop and Terminator Rambo just seem like, what the fuck is this shit? Anyway, it's just weird to me. They're fine.
It answers most high school kids.
They work,
Really win
80s.
fight.
Yeah, I get it. It's a good. I think it's better than the horror pack, the Alien Predator shit. I didn't really care about that in Mortal Kombat 10. I think Mortal Kombat 11 is the better game than 10. Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. I've put like 13, 14 hours into the game. I've played some online. I beat a dude's ass, like kicked his ass. Like in the combat, you have to do the competitive ranked combat league, and the thing I don't like about that mode is that you have to have chat on, so you can hear them talking, and I don't want to hear them talking, but you can hear them, and I'm just like beating this guy's ass, and he's just saying shitty stuff to me as I kick his ass, and it's just like, anyway. But I suck at that game ultimately, so I don't know how I beat this guy. Anyway,
Maybe he just sucked.
Mortal Kombat. It's fun. Buy it. It was super cheap. It's gonna get cheaper probably. I bought the whole thing for like $24. I think it was like 23 something. It'll probably get cheaper eventually, but it's totally worth it. It's totally worth the money. It's a great game. What else did I beat? I beat Just Cause 4. Like I talked with Dave. We played that. Then something else I've been playing that I purchased, and I think it's kind of along the line. It's not along the lines of Returnal in the sense of that gameplay, but in that kind of randomness. I finally bought. Right now, PSN has a sale going on, the PlayStation Indie sale, and I bought Void Bastards for $13. And it's this really cartoony Borderlands-ish first-person shooter game. It's hilarious. It's pretty fucking funny. And you're basically this unimportant criminal they send out on missions that it's okay if you die, because you die a lot. But you go out and collect things and make things. And the game's very condescending to you and makes fun of you. And it's a lot of fun to play. And you die and you restart and things change. And Void Bastards. It's a good game. I've been playing that. I put a bunch of hours in the other. I played it before on Game Pass, but didn't get super deep into it because I don't know. Game Pass I don't stick with for some reason. I play games on Game Pass, but I don't stick with it. Buy it on
I tried to play
PlayStation.
it on my PC. but it
It's a
didn't
lot
work.
of fun. Void Bastards. It's by the guy who created BioShock, I think. The team that created the original BioShock. So it's a really interesting game. It's anyway. You'd have to check it out. $13. I mean, I think normally it's like 40. It's a really cool game. And I've played some other stupid shit. Crude Busters. Dave was talking about the pie, the Raspberry Pi.
Yep.
My friend Jay and I, we beat Crude Busters, which is basically the Sega version of Two Crude Dudes. It's an awful fucking game.
Yeah, I
But you
watched
still
a
beat
video
it.
of it. It's pretty awful. Yeah.
It's awful as fuck. We beat that.
Didn't even sound fun.
We beat that shit, and I don't know. I've played some other shit, but I can't think of what it is right now. Anyway, that's what we've been playing, guys. We can get out of here. Oh, well, we should. No, we should. Oh wait, Dave, what are you gonna say?
I have one question for you.
Yes.
So
Yes, go. Question away.
Fred Myers has
Oh.
Cyberpunk 2077 for the PlayStation 4
Buy it.
on sale for $20.
Buy it.
I think it's $23 on Amazon right now as
Buy
well.
it.
When I looked.
I bought it.
But
Buy it.
I just wondered if
got
any
it.
of you had actually played it on the PlayStation 4,
No.
and is it as terrible as they say?
Yeah. Matt played it. Ryan played it. Matt was okay with the
I
shitty
did.
stuff. Ryan hated the shitty stuff. I played it on PS5, so it was fine.
I played on PS4. There was some minor glitchy stuff, but it was good for what it was. I'm definitely gonna wait until I can get my hands on a PS5 to replay it because there's just so many weird glitchy things, especially when you see a guy die and he looks like a salmon flopping around on the floor. It's like, okay, you should have disappeared after I killed you.
What
Why are
I'm
you
saying
flopping around
is,
like a-
buy it for the $20 because you get the PS5 version with it, and just
Yeah,
wait till you get a
it did not
PS5.
bust before.
Just get it.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking of installing it on my PS4 Pro to see if I bump into any of that weird stuff. Because
There's
that
some weird
sounds like
stuff.
it could be fun.
Yeah, I never played it on my PS4, but I played it. I think I streamed a couple hours on my PS4. I'd have to go back. I think I did it, but I don't think I ran into anything. But you will run into shit on PS4. But
Mhm.
Yeah.
you should buy
Oh,
it
yeah,
for
like I
$20
just
because that's a good investment in the future of that game because on the PS5 it runs fine.
Yeah, I was just kind of.
Did you buy it, Dave?
No, I
Oh,
didn't
we didn't.
actually.
Oh, you should have. You
Uh,
should have. That's a good.
It's everyone's birthday month, so I was a bit broke because
Oh.
it's like
Yeah.
my wife's birthday soon and my daughter's.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
really
I
good
got it
game.
tomorrow.
I think it's a really great game. I
It's worth
played
the-
it. I loved it.
Worth any penny you pay.
I might pick it up then because it's.
I just wouldn't play it
Although-
on PS4.
Yeah, although having said that, there's so many good games on the PS Plus that I haven't played. I'm not really in any hurry.
But don't you want to see my acting, my character, and
Uh,
watch me have sex with hot chicks?
so I think I saw an article that stated
They
that
don't censor the game.
the return policy that Sony had to get your refund for the game expires on
Oh yeah.
June 18th if you bought it digitally. So I wonder if that will be like someday when the patch will come out to make it good.
You still can't buy it digitally on the PlayStation
Yeah,
Store.
yeah, that's kind
That's
of
how
what I meant
bad
as
it
well.
is. That's how bad the
Is
game still technically is on PS4.
maybe that's the official launch of the new trailer and playable version of the game.
I don't
That'd
think
be
you
cool.
get the PS5 version, upgrade version, ever until the game is allowed back on PSN for PS4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Until they fix
it'll be a
that,
while.
until they fix it. But there are so many mods
Yeah.
for it right now on PC. I am so hyped. I just need it. It won't go under $40 right now on PC, so I'm
Well-
just waiting for Steam.
Yeah, I get the impression that on PC it is a decent game and it's not.
PS5,
Yeah.
everything but PS4 and like Xbox Series X. Those base consoles that can't run shit. Yeah. Stadia, it runs great on Stadia. You know?
Sweet.
Anyway.
Now, if
In
I
fact,
had a decent enough upload speed,
Yeah,
that'd be
right.
nice.
at launch it ran the best on Stadia. That was the one thing they could say about Stadia. Like at launch of at Cyberpunk, it ran best on Stadia. Anyway. We could do a really quick couch co-optionals if anyone's got something, because I do.
Sure.
Got something.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Shout it out. Nobody? Nothing?
All right.
Yeah,
So
I just. Oh,
The
go
head-
ahead, Aaron.
I was gonna say the Headspace Guide to Meditation on Netflix is actually really good if you want to clear your mind of anything that's going on with you. It actually teaches you ways to clear your mind. It's good. Watch, check it out.
You getting
Do
hippy
it.
dippy
It's
on
good.
this, Aaron?
No, it's just I figured I'd give it a try. What the hell?
That's
But
cool.
After
Cool.
watching it, it's good.
Check it out. All right. Jared?
I bet it.
A couple of quick shows. Castlevania season finale. 2 thumbs up. They ended it really well. So anybody that's interested in that, definitely jump at it. It's out. It's complete, and you can watch the whole thing.
Cool.
It's pretty quick because none of the episodes are very long, and they're very short seasons. So just binge it in a couple days and have fun. Also, I'm almost done with the anime Demon Slayer, which is also really good. That's like one of the most popular ones in Japan. It has a movie that came out alongside Mortal Kombat, so I want to see that when it comes out to digital release.
Okay.
Yeah, Demon Slayer.
Dave,
Nice.
anything?
I did watch Sabotage on Netflix. It's an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie from 2014. It wasn't like
Nice.
it was pretty good. It's just lots of violence and shootouts and stuff, but I really quite enjoyed it more than I was expecting to.
Cool.
So if you just feel like an old school, it felt like an old school action movie. Very simple plot.
Cool. Well, I'm going to do the low hanging fruit here. Fucking Sweet Tooth on Netflix is the must watch. It is so fucking good. It is. It's rivaling me with like. I think I like it better than The Expanse season 5 for this year of TV shows. I think
That's high praise. Yeah.
I think this is one of the best paced shows. It's 8 episodes. I love all the acting. It's shot beautifully. The music choices are great. I don't know. I really dig it. It's kind of a post-apocalyptic weird thing. You'd have to check it out. But I'm not. I don't want to talk it up too much because you talk something up and then people hate it. I watched it and then I told Bryn like, there's this show you might like it. I don't want to talk too much about it. And then she's gotten deep into it. So which is cool. So Sweet Tooth, Netflix, just came out. I think it's great. Got dusty quite a few episodes for me. Maybe I'm just getting old and soft in my old age, but yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit. Anyway,
That's the next show I'm gonna watch. Yeah.
let's get out of here. What do we say for this shit? Let me let's roll and do this. And I want to thank all of you for listening and remind you that you can leave feedback on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Couch Co-op Shows, all one word.
No,
No
hyphen.
hyphen.
Yeah. Remember to please subscribe, share, and maybe leave us a review on iTunes. You can also find us on Spotify, Google Play, Amazon. There's a whole bunch of other random shit. Oh, we didn't even mention this at the top of the show. We have moved our host to Anchor.fm. The cool thing about that is our old host was dead in the water. They were. It was weird. I think robots were managing it, but there were no people in the back end. So I didn't feel safe just leaving it over there in case like their servers went down. So I wanted to move it upgrade. We moved to Anchor.fm. If you go to Anchor.fm/The Couch Co-op Show, you can actually leave voice messages for us. So you could like, hey, instead of writing us an email or going to Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, you can go to Anchor.fm/The Couch Co-op Shows. You can click on the message thing and you can record us a fucking voice message. If you record a fucking voice message, you can 100% fucking guarantee we will put it in the show. So if you want your 15 minutes, if you want to take a minute of your 15 minutes, we will give you that honor. Anyway, yeah, so we moved there. I want to thank you all for listening and joining me here on the couch. I want to thank Jared, Dave, and Aaron.
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good night.
Yeah. For hanging out. For Couch Co-op, I'm Ian, reminding you to please be excellent to each other. And now I'm going to play the boop-a-doop. Here we go.
Couch Co-op.
Ooh.
Couch Co-op.